tuning in now or if you stumbled upon this after the live, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who have taken the time to try to educate yourselves and actually or take a look at the charts as well, or maybe just bounce a few ideas off of maybe what I'm trying to say or what I'm seeing in the charts themselves. But I do appreciate each and every one of you on a grand level. And I can't thank you enough for being here. If you're part of the 20,000 plus subscribers, thank you very much for tuning in. And especially a shout out to everybody in Tom's Army, as that does help me more than I think anybody could even understand or begin to understand. If you're tuning in tonight, please make sure to hit that like button. Before I look through the comments, I just wanted to say all of this. XRP is looking for a close above 534. If we can close 7 o'clock above 534, that's a bullish sentiment, and that could help us push up into the next layer, which we'll go over on the charts exactly what those layers are if we do break up. If we break down, we'll be looking at the targets at the bottom of this descending triangle, and then possibly further would be down to the rising channel from 2022. But we'll go into all of that because you also have the descending triangle resistance if we were to break up out of here. So before we get into it, though, I'm going to timestamp this, and I'll just date it, timestamp it so that we can have it in its proper place. So good evening, 6:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 29th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. But a couple things that I've observed so far today. Bitcoin's over 43,000. It looks like it's pretty good right now on the closing front, but XRP is the one that kind of is standing out right now. Being over 534, that's a significant pivot point. And when you're above it, it allows for bigger runs. If you're below it, it allows for bigger drops. And we've seen it in both regards over the last several months, whether it was on the bottom side like we've seen and we fell down, or if it was above it and we had a nice little run up. But right now, what XRP's done is it's completely encapsulated us or engulfed us within a descending triangle. And for anybody who doesn't know what a descending triangle is, before we get into the live, because I'm going to go more towards education, so to me it looks like a descending triangle that we're in. So a descending triangle refers to a bearish chart pattern used in technical analysis that is characterized by a descending upward trend line and a second flatter horizontal trend line which is lower than the first. So is a descending triangle bearish or bullish? A descending triangles are a bearish pattern that anticipates a downward trend breakout. So if you look at this right here, there's your descending triangle. Now, there's a few ways we can interpret this, so we'll get into it now. But let me turn on the comments just in case anybody's here. Colin, welcome in. O. Johnson, good evening. Harvey, John Hall, good evening. Miss Vicky, welcome in, love. I'm so glad to see you in here. Even though you are working, it means a lot to me that you've even made it in here. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate that. Bobby, good evening. Jorge, welcome in. Sully, good evening. I missed all of you. Every single one of you. But so we talked about the descending triangle. Now, actually, let me pull up my other chart because I have that formation drawn in. Because we're not technically, it's technically, you've got the descending support, descending resistance, but it's up to interpretation how you want to call it. I could simply just do this and have the horizontal support, but I'm trying to get an understanding of what this pattern might do. So you could do that and just say, oh, that's what it, but I think it gives you a better, I don't know why it's backwards. I think this gives you a better understanding if we come down here and say, well, let's not lie to ourselves. This was actually, lower lows, which is what you're looking for, but that looks like a descending formation. It's just, it doesn't have to break down. If it does, though, we know the targets, and you would want to have confirmation. That's why I think with the close over 534, it's pretty much speaking to us what we already know here. What I mean by that is, if we've already got a hit on here, let me pull this out real quick. If we've already hit up here, resistance and a support, now we've got a resistance, we've got a support. It makes sense to come up here for resistance It makes sense. Even if this pattern's bearish, it would make sense to come up here. And that could be what, speaking of this bull flag, that seems to be breaking up now. And then, I mean, it almost looks like it's telegraphing this for us. Now, what I could see happening as well is for something like this, because it's XRP, but, you know, it probably doesn't even have to do that. It's already had inverted left arm, inverted head, inverted right arm that came down. Now it's using the support area. You'd expect it to finish this move, even if it's bearish, and come up around that. This is like 5-6. It depends where it hits. 574 if it hits before February 4th. But I think everybody can see what we're talking about here. I think that's the formation we're in. And then if it breaks down, it works out very nicely. We've already know the nearest support. That's the 44 cents. If we break out of the formation, that's the rising channel support. And that pattern started June of 2022. And we've been in it for, well, over a year and a half now. So, I mean, that's what we're waiting for one way or the other to get out of this formation. But that's just what, excuse me, that's what I see with XRP. I firmly see us in that descending formation, and I'm calling it a descending triangle. And that's just what I see. You got lower lows and lower highs. I mean, I can't help what I'm seeing. Free Toast, welcome in. Welcome in. Tanya, welcome in, love. Good to see you in here. Good to see you in here as always. I love seeing you in here. Got a good audience in here tonight. Notice, everybody, the cool thing about crypto right now is that nobody is, let's just say nobody's trying to jump on the train for crypto right now. They're trying to jump off. So these are my favorite times with crypto because I have a, what gives me the better understanding for when we have rallies is what I find out with the information in these times. I can see the difference in buzz right now, and it's actually pretty easy for me because I have 20,000 people following me or subscribe to me on YouTube. So it makes it easier for me to see a buzz one way or the other. When there's no buzz, not very many people, you know, you might see 60, 70, 8, maybe 80 people at the most. Well, I can't say that because sometimes we get overzealous in the lives. But usually 60 or 70 people when it's a downturn. And you can really see, like, there's no real momentum. You know, there's no real, oh my God, XRP is about to go to $1. Can you believe this? Oh my God, look at all that. There's none of that. It's more of, you know, it's something different. So I think right now it's an interesting time to be in crypto, like just watching it. Because I go through all the cycles. I've been doing this going on, it's going to be 3 years in March, at the end of March, without missing a day of coverage. So it gets pretty interesting. These are the times when everybody makes it seem like crypto's dead. My favorite times. My favorite times. It's also why at these times I always talk about what does XRP have to do to have a very long, drawn-out run here. And we could have a drawn-out run here, but the problem is we didn't go down far enough for it to do what I wanted. Now, that doesn't mean you don't break back up to the top of this rising channel, but it does look like you'd at least come up here somewhere. You got to touch up here, it looks like. We have this death cross here. And getting into it's getting into higher time frames. So when you start getting into higher time frames, like we're in the daily right now. So this descending triangle, you could, or with this death cross, forget even the formation we're in the short term, you could get rejected at even 547. Like, this is what we're watching right now. This could be a big reversal part here where it gets overzealous and it runs up here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we start looking at the smaller time frames, because we've still got room to run. In the 3 hourly, especially if you look at it, 2 hourly, there's still a little bit of room. Coming up here would not be out of the question. 2 hourly, we're starting to get a little bit up here now, though. So how high can we actually run? Can we even get up all the way up to here? The likelihood is you're going to come up for a third hit of resistance if this is bearish. It looks a lot like the 2017. It honestly does. Alexandro, I agree with that. But, I mean, we did cool off a little bit by coming down here. It's just, it would have done us a lot of good to come down just a little farther, but it's got a lot of room now to start playing off the weekly. I'm telling you right now, if it plays back up, it does have a lot of room if it breaks to the top side. It's just, look at these formations now. I know a lot of people, can I just tell everybody an honest observation? I get told this all the time that, oh my God, it looks identical to the past formations, which to the untrained eye, maybe, right? You've got this. But what do we have here? That's a descending structure. You can even say that's like a descending channel, maybe. There's one obvious difference what we're going through right now. I mean, it's obvious. We're in a rising channel instead of a falling channel. What's the difference here, folks? I mean, that's a big difference to be in a descending formation before a big breakout or a rising formation. The rising formation almost suggests that this is a fake out when it gets to the top. Like what I said, a fake bull run in 24. I don't know. I'm just saying. If you're actually looking at this objectively, and you're really looking at this with no bias, let me go to my other XRP chart. I think it'll be a little bit, no, I guess not. If we're looking at this unbiasedly, you know what? I'm going to pull out a different XRP chart that's not drawn on. We're going to need one, though, that's... This one will work. This will work. So, oh, of course, it's one that I was using. I don't remember when we used this, but apparently we looked at this one sometime. But anyhow, all the lower support levels, that's when we were on the bottom. That was a while. Oh, man. Those ones will come in handy later. But the obvious thing with XRP right now, forget these. We know all the numbers, but the obvious thing with XRP, the difference, everybody says it looks like 2017. Correct. The only difference is, and it's a substantial one, we had the big move, descending, boom. Big break up, down, ascending, boom. That's your difference if you're looking at it. Not just that. If this is a left shoulder, head, I mean, you could be talking cataclysmic if it does break down. You know, you're talking about a big breakdown here. So, what's the likelihood? Is that going to drop the hammer on us? Because that's a rising formation, and that doesn't make me feel too good. This one is a descending formation. Oh, you're saying oh, okay. See, now that part I like. If you're saying it's like this, and then boom, that's okay. So you're saying like this is the drop, right? And this is the boom. So this would be the drop, and this would be the. I see. That's fine if you're looking at it like that. I like that. That's when I tell myself we're gonna have a big breakout. That's what I'm looking at. That's the perspective I'd be looking at. That makes me happy to look at it from that perspective. Because you have the big down, then you have the start to push up. You have the big down, the start to, you know, I like that. We've already started. It's like a V-shaped recovery already started. So, I don't know. We got a lot of stuff to wait for. MACD crosses above zero, which caused the breakout. Yeah. Do you know where the MACD's at right now? Just out of curiosity. But yeah. For XRP, we're looking for a close over 534. Let's just cut. You know, that's what it is. Interesting, Savage. Interesting. Keep the info coming, everybody. This has been a nice live so far. I wasn't really anticipating so much input. I love it. It's exactly why I do it. Look at Monday. From 2017. We can easily go back there. I've got it marked out from the 2017 uptrend on my chart. I gotta go to the right chart. December 11th, 2017. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and making this live very interesting. Right on point, too. 62 people on a day like today. It's exactly what I would anticipate. Please make sure to hit that like button. 45 likes. With your help, we can find more and more people here, even in down times. And we can start bouncing some of this stuff off of each other. I mean, this is where the real information is found. I mean, you got down times here. we can certainly start to figure things out as a cohesive group. That is not the right chart. Ah, there we go. Okay. So back here was March. He's talking about December. Where's December? You said 20. Where did you say 2017? So that's the 2020. So this will be the 2017 when it made this parabolic move in here somewhere. June, July, August. So right back here. See, I measured this out myself too. I went back in this chart. See, this who was saying this? This is exactly what I've measured, and I've brought to this exact point many, many times. Who said that about December 11th? I use this as a point. Alessandro, that's fucking beautiful. This is the exact reference point I love to use all the time. That's why I said it'll be easy to find. Dude, exactly. It's identical. That's if you're looking at it from that perspective, this is exactly what you'd want to see to look for a little bit of a break. I mean, it was in this ascending or the symmetrical. See, you were down on the money. Look. See, everybody? Sometimes to have perspective, you got to go back and look to see what led to it. It's exactly the part of the pattern. 2017, well, I mean, I don't want to say it was the start of the printing presses, but you had a nice round of quantitative easing, and there was a lot of money getting passed back and forth. And then 2021, it broke the banks in the beginning part of it. Joshua, thank you so much for that super chat. I greatly appreciate that. First super chat of the night. What a generous son of a bitch you are. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm hoping it does something like that too. I mean, it's got a similar formation. I mean, that was a huge parabolic spike there too. And then basically what happened here though, I know you don't get to use it from December of 2017 because it had to bounce up, but look what ends up happening here, my friend. You have this bounce, and then if you use it from here on 2020, that's how you get the start of the uptrend. You can do that like I've told everybody a billion times. You can do this, and I pulled it off the side, but you can do this from 2017, and it gives you that expanded view, and that's how we get that number. It does. Except if you take it from 2020, now you've got a new uptrend that's formed. So now you start to get the fan. See, we're creating the fan ourselves. I know some of you who are technical traders who don't maybe understand, and you use the fan because it tells you all of the levels from before, or maybe it can give you a future. This is all they do. And then I would start putting in the data pieces from here. So, okay, one part, I could part the fan in, and I'd say the support would be 38.6. And then another part of the fan, the support would be 25. And another part of the fan, it would be 1.1. I know you guys have all heard that 1.1, the people calling for 1 cent. I'll tell you exactly how they get that. All they're doing is doing the all-time pattern. That's it. They have literally gone back from the first time it spiked to back down and created a support system going back to like 2014. And they come up and they say, well, if it takes the normal trajectory, you take all the bullshit out, it's at about 1 cent. But in order to get through that, you got to get through so many of these. So now you create a little system. So, you know, it's nice to be able to see how people do it and how we get targets. But like if you look at it from a weekly perspective, it could be the start of a reversal candle. And the reason I say that is, and it's interesting. Oh, yeah, the $1.99. Thank you, Joshua, so much. So much. Yep, Alejandro, that's a good eyes to see it through is your eyes. That's a great, the fact that your eyes are seeing it perfectly, I'd say it's good to see it through your eyes. Our eyes are seeing the same thing, so that makes me feel even better. So, if you say the first hit on a W, second hit, and let's just say it uses this as support, that's why the 534 is an important close. Then you start bouncing up. I mean, this could be the start here. That looks like a small little bull flag, even in the weekly. So, I mean, even if you get rejected, you're looking at some kind of upturn here. Daily time frames technically on a reversal candle here. This could be the start of a reversal. That's why you want to see a close over 534 in 27 minutes. Right now we're sitting at 535. So I mean it's right on the cusp here, but it is sitting on the top side. Savage, I remember he was calling for sub 22 though, not even sub 30 anymore. Bro, what are you talking about? I had hit sub 30. I said sub 20 was if we got best case scenario, but I'm sorry, but to invalidate you, we did hit sub 20 or sub 30. So, I mean, I called that from $1.66, so slow your roll, brother. Don't try to flex in here. I don't like that when you're trying to gaslight my audience. But that's the last I'll give you any kind of response. So, I've never said that it's going back below 20 cents. I've never said it was a guarantee. I've never called for it again. You're full of shit. That's all there is to it. And if you want to gaslight me, that's fine. But I got no reason to lie to you. I said once it got to sub 30 cents, I'll never make another prediction again. So you're absolutely full of crap. I made my one big prediction and laid my reputation on it. You called for AK. Oh, yeah. See, you're just being a douchebag. Just like your name, DB. No, those are the targets that it can go to if everything broke down and you had an extreme liquidity tug and you had a all hell breaks loose. Could happen, but nobody's calling for it. If I was calling for that and said that that was a 100% guarantee, I'd be an idiot. But you're just here to try to ruin my flow. I understand. So, Casper right now, it was extremely oversold yesterday. It went all the way down to the 3-3 level. And you can see even in the daily time frame, it's going to have a little bit of a reversal when it closed at 7. But 4-hourly starting to push back into the neutral areas. It looks like it needs to come back to the bottom of, or the top of the rising, or the falling channel, which is down here at about 377. Or actually, it's up to about 377. But yeah, that looks like it's going to come to the top. It actually looks like it's going to finish off this move. We'll see. Let's see. The 2-hourly still in a good spot. 1-hourly, pretty good spot still. It looks like we're gonna start pulling into these bullish categories in the smaller time frames. 30 minutes started its bullish cross. We're just gonna try to support it up, but I don't see any reason why this won't finish this off. Even if you get a nice support move, maybe a little bit lower, it should come and reconsolidate this rising channel or the falling channel. This was something that we've had on here as it was making these moves, and it did come outside of it, so it's interesting. It came far outside of it, and then it just reestablished it and pushed up. So it almost looks like it wants to reestablish resistance here to see how bearish this pattern is, see if we're going to continue to tug down, but we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. It seems like it, though. I mean, you could have an overzealous tug to 4-3, but I don't see it as likely. I think right now it's just trying to see how bearish we are in the standpoint of this could be a nice resistance hit. But hey, when you have falling channels, those end up being bullish reversals. They can only fall so much. And like we had no choice but to have a reversal here because we were in the extreme oversold, even into the 4-hourly. Daily time frame got into the oversold. But in some of the smaller time frames even, it was getting down there. There were some of the lower ones. It was under 10. Like 9.3. That's crazy. That's getting low. I don't even know when the last time I can point to anything on here where it's going to be lower than. No, it's been a long time since we were that oversold. So we'll see. Short market. I don't disagree with that. Is it still possible? Anything's possible. To get down there, though, that's going to be your best case scenario. You're going to have a complete liquidity style event. The one thing that when I thought it could go down there and the thing that changed it was when we went to quantitative easing again. I thought we could get down there if they kept tightening, kept raising rates. But once they flipped the script and they started to print money, I said it changes everything. That's why I bought into the positions and we wrote it up when we could. And we were buying into stuff when we thought. Now, there's no reason it can't go down there. It's just with manipulation going into 24, after you go up so far, you can only come down so far before you start going up again. So now you get kind of caught in the paradigm. You get caught in the liquidity back and forth. And then, when you get shorts and longs, they're just basically flipping options. So the ones who are smart enough to ride it down, they're flipping it to the top. And then you've always got that constant liquidity pulling you back and forth. But it's only going to happen for so long. The longer you pull out here, the higher up it's going to go. So eventually, it's going to just get to a point where it's got nowhere else to go but up. We looked at XRP. Now, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's interesting as well. It's at a huge pivot layer at 43,500. It's got to get above that area if it wants to continue this move. We're going to be overbought here. We're going to be overbought. I mean, it needed to have much more of a consolidation down. It's just with how fast it fell, Bitcoin found itself in an opportune moment. Not there, but when it came down here, I mean, Bitcoin had an opportune moment. Is it necessarily done? Probably not, because it's going to probably overextend this arm. But don't get fooled. This could be the triple top in the plaque. I mean, if it comes up all the way, you'd be looking at 50,000. If it comes up and retouches this broadening wedge, that's just the reality of it. But it looks like a nice V-shaped recovery. It looks like it can keep going. In the 4 hourly, how far is this? Well, 43,500 is going to tell you everything you need to know. And then it comes down to the prior formations. All right, well, we were in a bull flag that broke down into a broadening wedge. But what if we still have that resistance on the board? Well, if we get above 43,500, 44,200 is logical. Is that going to be the end of the run-up? Well, we don't know. We have to hold this 42,500 or 42,470. Otherwise, it could start slipping back down. See how quick this happens? You guys are throwing an awful lot of stuff for me to cover. I mean, you know, I'd love to see more people in Tom's army if you want me to go around the board that much. Or some generosity by paying it forward. I mean, I've got some stuff on the board that I have no problem covering, but to go above and beyond what I've already covered, or like the stuff that I cover on a daily basis, is going to be a lot for my brain. You know, the sport's been a little lagging in the new year, which, you know, XRP crypto sucks right now. So, you know, I can understand that. But like, the stuff I want to cover, like VeChain is on here, I can cover that. It's up 3.97%. It's at 0.29. Hey, Copper, thank you for re-upping in Tom's Army. You're in month 2, and I know that because you got Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News, the emoji badge. A lot of stories that go behind that badge. But VeChain is at 2.9, up 3.61%. Like, I don't mind covering what I have on here. The ones that I have on. So when I see somebody mention it, I easily can do it. So, I mean, I own VeChain from about the 1.5 level. So we'll see what happens with VeChain, but it's falling back within a wide formation here. VeChain, it could have had a big parabolic bounce, but it so far hasn't been able to hold it. You could still say, hey, what if the consolidation comes here? You can always adjust it, but that's a nice falling channel here, and it's going to get into an opportune bounce here. I mean, VeChain, if you're asking, hey, is this going to go up? Can this break up? The number one thing I can tell you is it's got to get back above this formation at 3 cents. That is the line in the sand. If it doesn't get above 3 cents, look how this pattern's going to, how it's going to continue playing out. And then it's just going to have to finish it. You can see it. This is a falling. Okay, so if you look at this from the bottom, yeah, you can say, okay, well, it's got a long ways down. But that's not necessarily the case. We started breaking up here, so you can say, like, hey, maybe we formed something like that now. But we know in the shorter perspective, we've already broken out of the short-term pattern. We know what we broke out of, and it was something, and it broke out. Now it can back test it, but I'm not necessarily looking for this to back test this. I'm just saying. And if you take this into a longer, you look at this a little bit longer. Let's get rid of some of this so it's easier to see. No, we should probably keep that because that is the part of the back test that it was working on. But if you just, that's the wider formation. Like if you cut it all away, this is actually what it's in. Like you had this downtrending support. You had a nice resistance base. This is what you were trying to avoid coming back down to. And then we drew this in here for VeChain, just so it was a little bit easier to see. You know, and you could see kind of like how you have this little formation that was forming here. And we're still inside of it. The fact we're still inside of it it's not like, oh my God, this pattern's dying. But we really need to come through this. We don't want to keep coming down and retesting this. We want to get above 3 cents. It's got a lot of room with the relative strength, though. It cleared out a lot of room. And there's a big decision in the market because there is a lot of formation set up across crypto that you have this exact W that could be formed. So I know everybody sees it on multiple cryptos. It's just if it does drop the hammer, that's the other part of it. So that's what I'm seeing there. It still seems like there's where we're looking to close right now with crypto. It still looks like there's room. I mean, it's hard to say otherwise, just because we're on the top side of some of these resistance. If we close here, it could be a fake out to us. But with XRP, with all the ones we're seeing, we're on the top side of some of these major support levels. Same thing with XLM. It's climbed back outside on the breakout parts. These are where XLM's at. It's telling us, hey, we got a chance at a breakout. And that breakout would just bring you back to the top of the formation. But that's 13-1. So is there something coming? Is there something coming through the pipeline? I mean, that's just the back of it. But that just tells you that, hey, we're on the side where we could technically start to push back up. Have a death cross, though, in the daily. So just like with XRP, this is going to have to be a bullish start to the next daily candle. Otherwise, first move, it's going to come back down to 11 cents. Daily time frame, it looks like we're trying to hold support. 4 hourly, we've broke back into a bullish type of scenario. 3 hourly, we're pushing back up, and we're trying to push to the top of over. See, when you get into moves like this is where you try to come to that nice little spike now. Feels like all across crypto, it's starting to set up for one more spike up. That's just how I feel. I wish I would have been wrong when I said it looked like it was coming to retest with XRP at 534. Because if it would have went to 44 cents, we could be done with it. Now would be the real rally. But it's not going to make that, man. I don't think it's going to have the staying power. The only thing I'm saying is with XRP is I think it could go back to the top of the descending triangle possibly. That's it. I don't think it's going to make that grand move all the way back to the top of the formation, the grand formation. I just think it's going to look for another hit on resistance. Would not surprise me with the way this looks if this is just a push to resistance. So, yeah, that's the stuff I wanted to cover today. Honestly, that was a beautiful 32 minutes. I'm not done yet, but I really am happy with the way that 32 minutes went. Opinions? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Anything you would have changed? So, XRP, this is a good thing. This is good. XRP skyrockets 80% in trading volume. So understand what that... So one of the things I think I've been missing in my lives, and we focus so much on the chart sometimes, we forget to talk about the semantics, the numbers, just the headlines. So that's something that I promise going forward in 2024, that we're going to focus also on some of the headlines that are grabbing attention with XRP. Like this. Like some of the things that matter. XRP skyrockets 80% in trading volume as XRP price is going through now or never moment. Haven't I talked about the last few days how XRP, it's going to make it or break it for us? We're at that moment. Now, the first part of make it or break it, to make it, we could have went to 44 cents, but, you might be cutting your hair in time for Easter. Well, some people are pointing to that. I just turned 40, so who knows? I might go bald in the process, It's good that I made it this far with this much hair, but like I said, I would grow it out until XRP got to $1, and this was back in July when I broke my part of my hand and my fingers, you all remember. So Julie cut my hair in like mid to late July, and I said I won't cut my hair again, I promise, until XRP gets to $1. And, now we're working on, what's it been, August, September, October, November, December. It's been a full 6 months. My goatee's getting pretty long as well. So we're getting somewhere. So everybody who's in the journey, just understand I have not cut my hair and I won't cut my hair. It's almost like I want to do it until all-time highs and Julie's behind it. I might not have any front hair left by then. I might have a receding hairline by then. You never know. My dad's bald. Like, not bald, but he's got like the island and the receding. My brother's got receding, so we'll see. Ooh. If XRP got to $10, would I cut the beard? I've not seen myself without a goatee since I was in 7th grade. I grew it in the summer between 6th and 7th grade. So I went to school and I had more facial hair than a lot of my teachers when I was in 7th grade. So I don't know what I look like without a goatee. I've never cut it off since 7th grade. Honestly. It would be weird. I'd probably look like a fish out of water. So let's read this real quick. But that's interesting. If we got the $10, I might do something. 100 grand worth of XRP with just the 10,000. I could see that. Sorry. So this is interesting. XRP skyrockets 80% in trading volume as XRP price is going through now or never moment. So, in a noteworthy development, the cryptocurrency XRP has experienced a substantial 80% surge in trading volumes within the last 24 hours. According to a report by CoinGlass, this surge has propelled the combined turnover for spot and derivatives markets to an impressive 1.35 billion, constituting 4.74% of the asset's total market capitalization. This surge in trading activity aligns with the normative level of market engagement. As of the latest data from CoinMarketCap, XRP currently holds a position of 8th largest digital asset, boasting a market capitalization of 28.46 billion. The heightened trading volume coincides with a significant movement in the XRP price chart. Analysis of the weekly time frame reveals a breach of the dynamic support level established in January of the previous year. Traditionally a point of rebound for the XRP price, recent weeks have seen downward price action breaking through the historic support. The closure of the weekly candle below the critical level signals a potential negative trend. Now or never. Investors, however, remain cautiously optimistic as they await the closing of the monthly candle in 2 days. This time frame holds significance, offering a potential opportunity for price rebound and a close above the critical support level by the end of January. The increased trading volume indicates heightened investor interest, hinting at impending significant movement in XRP's price. The cryptocurrency now stands at a crucial juncture, presenting a now or never moment as the market observes with anticipation the direction in which XRP's price will ultimately go. See, I keep saying it's a make it or break it moment. There's a reason why I keep saying that. And then the crypto potato. Is XRP on the verge of a massive bounce? You know, we like to keep things in a positive mindset here, so why not look at the speculative side of the good side? Everybody always thinks I'm a dick, but here, let's talk about the positive side, possibly. Is XRP on the verge of a massive bounce? Ripple price analysis. Ripple's price has been confined within a symmetrical triangle. Remember, a beautiful audience member mentioned what happened in 2017, and we looked at the old symmetrical triangle to see how much that bounced out. A symmetrical triangle pattern since the latter half of 2023. However, a recent sharp decline has brought the price to the lower boundaries of the triangle, where it may find support in the coming days. The subsequent breakout from this triangle pattern will play a pivotal role in shaping Ripple's future prospects. A comprehensive analysis of the daily chart shows a noticeable downturn in Ripple's price following a successful pullback to the broken 100 and 200-day moving averages. Wow, another donation. Can you give your input on LCX? Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Jeff, LCX. Well, let me finish reading. Well, let me try to pull this up. I don't really want to go too far outside of what I've been doing today. But I know, I don't even know what LCX is, but it'll take me 3 seconds to put a chart together for you. So hold on. Let me finish reading what I'm reading, and then we'll go for it. Thank you, Jeff, though, for the paying it forward with your first donation. See, not expecting anything. Pays it forward and says, Tom doesn't demand it, and puts it out in my court. So I could have said yes or no. That's the way I like it done. Thank you for that. However, the current price has reached a critical and decisive support region encompassing the static support level of 50 cents and the lower boundary of the multi-month triangle. This support range is a robust defense against sellers, potentially impeding further downward movements. Despite the resilience of this support range, the impending breakout is evident as the price approaches the narrow range of the triangle. A successful break below this crucial triangle could initiate a significant downward trajectory for Ripple, introducing fear and uncertainty to the market. Conversely, a break above the upper boundary would pave the way for a renewed bullish trend targeting the pivotal resistance at 70 cents. I would love a move up there. This is absolutely what we were talking about earlier. When somebody said to go look back at December 11th, 2017, which you seen on the chart, it was marked, But they had laser-like precision in talking about the targets to look at, because that is such a crucial part in the history of XRP. That was where it finally said, nope, we're getting out of this pattern and we're going places. And oh, it went places, and it's never returned since. To those places since it came back down. But this is what they're talking about. This is how it's converging now too. You can see it's tightening. We're getting to the back end of that triangle now. Well, the front end. It's the front end, but you get what I'm saying. The 4-hour chart, a more focused examination of the 4-hour chart also highlights an impulsive downtrend, underscoring the dominance of sellers in the market. Nevertheless, the price has now reached a pivotal support region defined by the multi-month ascending trend line and the static support range of 50 cents. The trend line's historical role as robust support suggests heightened demand, with the price intersecting the crucial trend line and the static support zone at 50 cents. There is a notable potential for a reverse. And remember, it can come a little below 50. It's actually like 4946 right now. So even if it came down below 50 and it had a nice, nice candle formation, like a wick that came below, that's fine. We've seen it once. We can see it again, and we probably, maybe we'll see it again. We don't know. Signaling a possible bullish trend in the midterm. However, a sudden break below this critical support range could lead to a substantial decline, targeting the next crucial support level at 48 cents. In such a scenario, the 50-cent support region would transform into a formidable barrier, initiating a consolidation stage between the support region at 48 cents and the momentum resistance at 50 cents. Also, notably mentioning that we would create a resistance level as well. You could call it R1, resistance 1, at around the 495 we would call it, because it's like 4946. So I just call it 495. And then you'd also have to get above 50. That would be incredibly hard to get above those two layers. And from technical standpoint, people would not want to even consider buying anything in that 494 range. So they would just sell it there. So it'd be hard to get the 50 cents. Unless you're going short, they'd wait there. They can't. They would, oh yeah, we're waiting for that bearish rejection. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Crypto Scrooge. I mean, it's going fantastic. It's going fantastic. Make sure you follow Crypto Scrooge as well. He's done a fantastic job here on YouTube. He needs to get to 1,000 subscribers. He deserves it. He's about 800. So if you watch me, he's homegrown in the community. And what I mean by that is he's been here since I was very, very tiny. And then he took it upon himself to talk about things like I took it upon myself to talk about the ISO tokens, XRP, the Internet of Things. He said I could offer something for the ISO, the XRP ledger, Solo, Quorium, anything in between. And he does a phenomenal job. So, heck, if you follow his community, you'll see me comment from time to time. I usually just like the videos and I don't leave a lot of comments because sometimes YouTube drives me nuts. But, sometimes I leave comments. Just all depends on the day. Sorry, I'm just looking to see exactly what the hell we're dealing with here, because this is on a pretty parabolic uptrend right now. I mean, we can see multi-layers where we broke out. I'm not going to draw it all in. I just wanted to see the uptrends. But if we're looking very quickly, you had your first big breakout was here, and you can see how it consolidated. Boom. Next big breakout was here, consolidated. Boom. Same thing, same thing. And now, eventually here we come up. It's going to have to come down and re-support some area. Now, it has created a new layer here, though. It's the interesting thing. So I always say this when it goes parabolic like this. A lot of people start to do this, but watch how it fans down as it comes from support to support to support when it gets ready to be done. But let's see what we're looking for. Hourly, way overbought. I'm just telling you, overbought. You better start running. Daily, way overbought. Weekly, way overextended. Yeah, this is getting ready for a massive reversal. I hate to say it and be the bearer of bad news, but you've actually asked at the exact right time. This is a beautiful time to ask. Look how oversold this is. I mean, overbought. This is exactly where Bitcoin was at last week when I had the big breakdown. Yeah, guys, this LCX is on the verge of a big, massive breakdown. It could still come up a little bit, as you know. You never know where it's going to end. But the moment this ends, this is going to have a huge reversal. And I would anticipate... Let's see. Let's see if it wanted to stay parabolic. This is how you start to create the fan. Remember I talked about the fan before. I'm trying to teach as we go along. So sometimes when you get the technical indicators or the fancy ones that you can get off of TradingView, they'll give you the fan. So ready? All the fan's going to show you something like this. It'll layer it out. And then it would do another one here. Because technically, if you're doing the fan, you're trying to find all the supports. So then it would also do a fan here, which, I don't know, this one seems pretty useless. But so that's your major support as you're coming through. So if you want to keep this parabolic spike, it would stay above this 23.6 cents. Then if it wants to do this, then it can come down here to try to hold support at 22. But then remember, if it comes to 22, you've automatically created a resistance level right above it. So you'd have 22 to 24 probably. You break below the 22. Then right below that, you've got the support. And that's going to be this is a more unified support at 19.5 it could possibly hold. But then again, you have 19.5, a resistance at 22 already built in, like 22.2. So the higher up and the higher the fan, the more straight up it goes, the more parabolic it's going, and the likelihood it's got to come back for a quicker retracement. The obvious thing here is if you just go through the all-time production here, you're going to eventually find yourself at 18 cents to see if this pattern's bullish or bearish. There's no other way to really look at it because there's no history of this for me. There's no history. Just get ready, though. I'm just saying, get ready for this to have a nice correction here. It did. I mean, the only thing is, though, is it broke into this. You know what? This is nice. This is nice. You know why? We have something to at least stand by here. So the old all-time highs is somewhere around 19.4. So let's just say, in a unified way, this comes down. This is beautiful. Look how beautiful this could work out. If you want this to stay bullish, I'm going to give you a beautiful, beautiful way for this to happen real quick. So what you're going to want to do, it's suck for a minute. It's giving you a blueprint now. Highs was right here. It was at 19.45 approximately. So you broke up parabolically. Now you can come down, and as long as you work your way back down here, you can bounce now off of this, and you're in discovery. You could bounce out into some untold stories. So that's basically your line in the sand. You need to come back down there, though, and test that. It almost works out too perfect that that's the uptrend. So if this was doing what it needs to do, by February 4th, it would be back down in that area. And it would start bouncing out again. You want it to do that. So that's what I'm seeing there. That's what I'm seeing there. So guys and gals, thank you so much for tuning in. My son's out here. I got to go do dad time. I thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure and an honor. XRP did have its daily close at 7 o'clock here. It closed over 534, so it achieved its goal. XRP closed over the pivot point. Now it's just a matter of how much do we retrace here to come back down? Because now you'd expect it to, and I know it seems weird. Hey, we closed over 534, but why is it acceptable to come back down to 529 now or 528? You retest the golden or the bullish cross here, and then it helps confirm this move. So now in the next few days, assuming 534 holds, you would start to push up towards 57 cents, top of that descending triangle. Have a blessed night, everybody. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. To the ones who sent a donation, to the new member of Tom's Army, I greatly appreciate you both, or all three of you more than you know. Other than that, if you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, look in the video description below. I've got ways to do it leverage or spot with the cheapest fees, the ways I trade. And then other than that, just hit that like button and share this on social media. Have a blessed night, everybody. It's